So Margie, we've talked in the past about how you help people and some of the things that set people at ease when working with you. Can you go through the process a little bit with me, exactly kind of how to lay out what that would look like?
Sure. Yeah. So usually if people are calling my office and they're saying, I think I need to talk to Margie about, some basic estate planning. That's the most common thing that'll get said. We will usually give them a ballpark.
Okay.
Because people like to know that.
Sure.
I think all of us like to know kind of what we're stepping into in terms of an endeavor, especially because most people that I'm seeing, I've mentioned this in the past, have never used an attorney before.
Right.
So they have it in their mind that this is going to, be something that's way beyond what they can afford, which is part of the reason they put it off to begin with. And they don't have any idea how this is going to work. So
Okay.
I think letting them know at least a ballpark. Obviously, it's subject to change. It might be a little more, a little less, but just so they know, like, oh, okay, it's not going to be, $10,000 or something.
Right.
But also to then have them come in and, have them be at ease. Usually we'll meet in my office, although I do offer house calls if people have a situation that warrants that. But we sit down and just kind of talk about their situation. Generally speaking, what are their assets? I don't need to know every last dime, just an idea of who they work with, if there's any financial professionals involved, where their accounts are at, and what are they looking to accomplish? What is their family situation? What are their concerns? From there, I can make some recommendations as to what I would suggest they do. If they decide to move forward, we can start by gathering some information. At that point, we usually do a half-down retainer, and then I come back, or they come back to see me, and we sign everything, including getting any deeds recorded after that signing date,
Sure.
and that's when the balance is due. I like to be very forward with people because they, again, are concerned and nervous, and this puts their mind at ease to let them know what's going on.
Yeah, it can make it comfortable and make it not be that big mountain to climb. You can make it easy for them. And as I've said in the past, in working with you, you are so accommodating and easy to work with. It may not be like the intimidation factor that people might think of when working with a lawyer. So
Yes,
really
thank you.
appreciate that.
Yeah. So another thing that I would tell people is, how do I prepare? I have also mentioned in the past that when we've spoken that, people think they have to have so much information ready to go.
Right.
But we can take things in steps. I've had some people that are ready to come in, couple weeks, we're done. But some people need to think about things and contemplate things a little bit more. And sometimes we have to take it a step at a time. For example, common situation I'll have come up is, we know we need wills, maybe a trust. We're not sure yet. We're not sure who's going to get our stuff when we pass. There's still some considerations.
Sure.
So I'll start with power of attorneys. I'll say those are pretty straightforward. They know where to go with those. We'll start with those. I'll tell them to come back in a few weeks, contemplate the rest of it between now and then. And then when you come back, we can sign, for example, the power of attorneys, and then we can have another meeting after that.
Absolutely.
And I will always tell people that a common question that I get is, can we use our signing as a follow-up instead of a signing? Just to break that down just for a brief second, what that means is that they're probably having second thoughts. And rather than just canceling the whole thing out, when I get a phone call like that, I always tell one of my staff, you know what? Tell them to just come in, we'll have a conversation, go over it, and then we can meet a third time, perhaps after that. That usually, I would say almost 100% of the time, ends up being very accommodating for the client. They feel so much better because a lot of times what they're building up in their mind as being a big deal and what they haven't prepared for is oftentimes, once we actually lay it out, is not that big of a deal at all, and we can very easily put them at ease.
Well, it's good to know that there's not just a one-size-fits-all mentality in your world, and that you are accommodating. And really, your idea is to put people at ease in going through all these stages of life. So really appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you. And one other thing I would like to say is that, talking with people, this area of law is one of those that definitely people need a little bit of hand-holding.
Sure.
Again, having never gone through this before, so I'm local, and one of the benefits of not downloading something online and maybe talking to somebody local is that when you do have these concerns, you can walk in, you can call, you can email, and know there's a person that will actually answer you and knows your situation. So.
Right. Definitely can appreciate that. So thank you, Margie.
Yes, thank you.